I thought I would make a little video because when I made the post yesterday about me asking if there were any specific topics that you guys wanted me to cover, someone did give me a response. Actually, I got 2 responses so far. One of them was a study with me video, which I will definitely do. My semester hasn't started yet, so I can't film that one yet. But somebody did ask, I'd love to see how you coped with moving out and going to college. I'm hopefully going this autumn and I have no idea how to function like an adult. Well, I can tell you something. Neither do I. Um, I've been trying to function as an adult for like a while now and I still suck at it. So you are not alone. Um, for this video specifically, I feel like I can make a very long video and talk about this a lot. Um, it's hard for me to break it down because I went away to college and that was like an entirely different life than the life I'm living now because I am in grad school right now, so it's still school, but it's very, very, very different. Um, so I guess I'll start with undergrad because if you're going to college, that's the life you're most likely going to be living, which is similar to what I did. So I stayed home for my first semester and then I transferred out of state for spring semester of my freshman year. Um, I was very excited to be going out of state and to just be getting out of my house and out of my town. I'm a big homebody, but there was just a lot going on and I just wanted to get away. So I was ready for it in that sense. So the day that my dad moved me up to URI, which is where I went, I moved in like 2 days before everyone else did because that was the only day he could take me, and they made an exception and said I could stay in the dorms by myself. There just wouldn't be anyone there. So I was literally by myself. So we dropped off all of my things and then we decided to kind of explore the campus a little bit and get lunch. And so I'll never forget, we just got sandwiches at the top of this shop, at the top of campus, whatever. It's not important where we were. But I was sitting at a stool facing the parking lot and there was a window and my dad was right next to me and I just kept drinking my drink and I wasn't eating and my dad's like, what's the matter? And then all of a sudden I just started crying and I was like, I don't think I could do this. I don't want you to leave me. I don't want to be on my own. Like, you have to understand something. I completely broke down because I had never even slept out of my house growing up. I used to get such anxiety. I would try to sleep at my cousin's house and I would get such anxiety that my dad had to pick me up every single time. I would get so nervous that I would make myself sick. And I was always afraid something was going to happen to my family when I was out or something was going to happen to me and they wouldn't know about it. So I just didn't like being away from my home or away from my family. And that fear just kicked in when I realized that after that sandwich, my dad was leaving me and I was going to be completely on my own. So he kind of gave me a little pep talk and he was like, you know, I get that you're really nervous and I get that you're scared and this is a big change, especially for you, but, you know, this is something you want and you can't, pretty much he told me I can't let my fear hold me back. And I was definitely about to let my fear hold me back because I was ready to back out and go home and be like, nope, I'll just go to school somewhere local. But he was like, nah, bitch, we made this 4-hour trip, so you're staying. So he dropped me off back at my dorm and we said goodbye and we cried a lot and I cried for an hour straight in my dorm room, just taking in the fact that I was on my own and that I was about to enter this whole new world that was completely scary and unknown to me and I had no idea how to navigate. It felt 10 times worse because I had transferred and I had no friends and everyone else had already been there for a couple months and they had their friend group established and they knew the lay of the land and stuff like that. So I was really, really, really nervous. Excuse me for drinking throughout this video, but I am sick and my throat is like attacking itself. So yeah. So I spent a couple days by myself and then everyone else started moving in and I met my roommates. And I lived in a dorm at URI called Butterfield. And in Butterfield, there are only a handful of these rooms where there's a bottom floor, which is a double. There's a top floor that's a double, and it's connected by a spiral staircase in the middle of the room. So technically, it's almost like a 4-person suite, but it's separated by floor, and there's 2 people on each floor. So I met the 2 girls underneath me, and they were really nice. And then the girl who was supposed to be my roommate ended up never coming, so I had a single pretty much, it was awesome, because I had my roommates downstairs, but I had my own place to get away upstairs. But that night, when everyone moved in, one of the girls downstairs was like, all right, let's go. I'm taking you to meet my friends. And I was like, no. I was just so scared. I have really bad social anxiety, so I didn't want to meet anyone. Like, I wanted friends, but I didn't want to put myself out there to meet them. So she literally dragged me around campus. She introduced me to, like, her best group of guy friends. I ended up being friends with them. So that's how that girl ended up pretty much being my rock for the first half of my time at URI. She was my roommate. We moved out together the next year, but she's the one who introduced me to mostly a lot of people. And then I also ended up meeting a lot more people through rowing, because sophomore year, we decided that we were gonna try rowing. My friend wanted to do it, and I agreed to do it with her, and then she quit after a couple of days, and I was like, no, I kind of like this, and I miss being a competitive athlete, and if I could be a D1 athlete in college, why not? So I met people through there. I ended up stopping because I got injured and I couldn't do it anymore. So I lost that group of people, just because when you're a D1 athlete, you're really only friends with athletes because your schedule is all over the place. So I lost those people, but that ended up giving me the chance to meet the people who were living where I was living my sophomore year. And I ended up meeting my best friend there, who I lived with up until last year. So I don't really know why I told you all of that, but I guess just to show you that, you can worry about it all you want, but things have a way of working themselves out. But I will say, if it wasn't for my first roommate, I definitely probably would have isolated myself, and I wouldn't have met that many people. So introduce yourself to your roommates. You're not always going to stay friends with your roommates. I don't talk to that girl anymore. We're not friends anymore. But that doesn't mean I'm not grateful for the friendship that we did have while we were friends. And, I don't get to see my other roommate all the time, the one that I just moved out with. And I miss her all the time, but we're very busy and our schedules conflict, so it's hard. But there are ways to meet people. My best friend, Karina, I met her working at a job on campus. We both ended up working for the new gym that was built at URI, Anna Facitelli. Sorry, I got a text. People have like a habit of texting me at really bad times or calling me at really bad times. So we met working at the gym, and we have been like this ever since, and I hope she watches this video and she sees this. Karina, you're a slut. Actually, Karina made it into a picture frame, and no one ever makes it into picture frames because I don't do picture frames. I don't really know why. I've just never been that into them, but this bitch made it into a picture frame that is actually displayed in my room. So that's how you know you met a good one. So my suggestion socially for when you move out is to meet people as much as you can. Get a job, join a sport, join a club. There are so many clubs in college, it's almost like embarrassing. There's a Quidditch club. Like, there are literally people, students, with broomsticks who like play Quidditch on the quad. So there is something for everybody, and if there's not, it is not difficult to start your own club. And you don't even have to make it official. You could literally have a group hang. Like, who cares? But put yourself out there, try new things. Like, if you would have told me back in high school that I would have done rowing, first of all, I didn't even know what rowing was. Didn't know that crew was a sport until I did it myself. Just try a whole bunch of new shit. It's gonna work out. Meet people through your class. Like, I had a buddy system where if, you shouldn't always have a buddy system anyway. This is a pro tip for school. Always have a buddy. They don't have to be your best friend, but it's just someone that you could get the notes from if you're not there. Because there are going to be times you're not there. Take it from someone who had perfect attendance her entire life. You're not going to show up some days. It's fine. But get your notes. Cover your ass. CYA. Anyway. So that's kind of the social aspect. In terms of homesickness, I definitely experienced a lot of homesickness, especially in the beginning. I called my parents. I would like Skype with my dad. I didn't have a car, so I couldn't really travel home. So if you're experiencing homesickness, first of all, the most important thing to know is that that is completely normal. Like, I went to college pretty much hating my home. Like, I wanted nothing to do with it, but that doesn't change the fact that it was still my home. And, like, even though there are things that I really hated about it, I was still kind of like, I miss the comfort of the life that I knew up until this point. So it's okay to be homesick. Call your family, try to schedule visits, because odds are if you're missing them, they're missing you. Take advantage. A lot of schools, if not all schools now, have to have a counseling center. I used it. I did individual therapy there, and I also did like a mindfulness group one year that I absolutely hated, and I would probably never do it again. But like, it was something where I met people, and it was an hour out of my week where, it was something else to do. Other students feel homesick all the time, so talk about it if you want. Be like, yo, I really miss my fucking parents. That's okay. Like, honestly, the support systems you make are going to be so important for every single aspect of college. I have prioritized my education since I was pretty much like in utero. I'm just weird like that. But at the end of the day, the stuff I learned in undergrad does not compare academically to anything else I learned about myself or about life. Like, I could have gotten that education at a lot of other places. I could have gone to an Ivy League and I decided not to. I could have stayed home and gone to a local college. I decided not to. But at the end of the day, I still learned the basic information I needed to get me to this point. But just going away and meeting the people I did and trying the things that I tried and doing the things that I did, that's what really made me who I am, and I felt helped to develop me as a person and give me this insight that I have that I didn't have. So yeah. You said you don't know how to function like an adult. No one knows how to function like an adult. Even adults don't know how to function as an adult. Like, life doesn't come with a manual. We are all figuring shit out as we go. And the thing is, some people just make it seem easier than others. Okay? Don't feel bad about yourself. Don't get down on yourself. I tried to cook steak for the first time last year in my apartment, and the fire department showed up. Does this look like someone who knows what they're doing? No. But I learned from my mistakes. Excuse me. I embarrassed myself. Shit happened. When I got this apartment, my old apartment, my roommate took care of everything because she moved in a month before me. So when I had to like go to the town and set up my electric and find a cable company, and that cable company couldn't do the services that I needed, so I had to find another one, and I had to schedule that and everything. I was going out of my mind. Like, my friends saw me just, like, crying on the front stairs of my new apartment because I was just so overwhelmed that I didn't know how to do anything. But here I am. And, like, shit's still happening. Like, there are still things going on that I don't know and I don't know how to handle. And the amount of times that I call my dad being like, how do I do this? Or what does this mean? Or I have no idea what I should do next. Like, that's happening. You're supposed to feel like you don't know what's going on, because if you were an expert at everything, you'd have no reason to want to better yourself. Part of why we go to school is, yeah, for the education, and we want that diploma, and we want that job, and we want that salary, so we're not crying over paychecks and stuff. But it's also just to grow as a person and to be gentler with yourself. Like, college is extremely different from high school. Grad school is extremely different from college. And the real world is going to be extremely different from grad school. Life is dynamic. Life is never static, ever. Something is always changing. So you don't need to feel like you have it all together or like you're functioning 100%. You know, I'm successful in school. I get very good grades. I'm doing well at my internship. I love what I'm doing. I think I'm growing into a good clinician, but I still don't know what the fuck I'm doing 50% of the time. And that is okay. You know? That's just life. So be gentle with yourself. See everything as an adventure. Like, that sounds really corny, but you're gonna blink and that time is gonna be gone. Like, I sometimes forget that I went to URI because the time went so quickly and I'm in a different stage of my life right now and I'm focusing on different things. That, like, I look back on memories and I was like, oh my god, remember that one time at that frat party? Or remember that time at that regatta? Or just, like, I remember the first time I met my best friend Karina. And, like, it's been 3 years now. So no one knows what they're doing. Honestly, if you're going to school, here's my advice. Find a support group. Put yourself out there. Try as many new things as possible. Be gentle with yourself. Seek out resources if you need. Go to the counseling center. Go to health services. You know, find an outside therapist if you need. Whatever it is. I would say the biggest takeaway from me going away to school is that I have become so much more independent and self-sufficient, because I was an extremely dependent person. I still am more dependent than I would like to be, but I do things now that I never imagined I would do, and it's because I was forced out of my comfort zone to do those things. And trust me, they were uncomfortable. So I'm not sure if this video was helpful for you. And if you have more specific questions on functioning like an adult, I do have a video on budgeting money, which I should watch myself because I really need to cut down on my spending. But if you have more specific questions, let me know. I would be more than happy to answer them. But I thought this was what I felt was important in terms of going away to school for the first time, because nobody ever really told me this stuff. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. If it wasn't, I'm really sorry. Please don't hate me. I'm only human. Or hate me, whatever. It's fine. But yeah, so I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm always on my blog, so feel free to send questions or whatever. I do have that other request in my back pocket to do a study with me video. If there's anything else you guys want to see, let me know. Okay? Alright. I will see you guys later.